all right. By the way, Alice, is that your HVAC I hear?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep. I'm
Is
trying to be as far away from it as possible.
That is loud. Wow. So anyway,
I'm trying.
so goodies have arrived, and look at this baby. This thing is actually awesome.
Is this the mixer that caused us to be 20 minutes late to start the show?
It caused us to be 14 minutes late. Somebody else caused us to be a few minutes late.
I believe I started the stream at like 7:02.
This is going to be fantastic once it's up and running, Alice.
Oh, good. I'm really excited.
And yes, it's fantastic. It's so cool. I'm already excited about it. And then most of all, Alice, what do we have here? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This baby.
Who is that for? Wow, you're going to dress up in that?
Wow, it comes with some kind of accessories. This is.
Wow, Tom, that's going to look great on you.
I gotta say, this is all I ever really wanted. What is this that comes with it here? Is this a thong or something?
It doesn't matter because I don't know if that'll fit you, Tom.
Yeah. Else. It's the objectification portion of our marriage. So
we'll see what happens. You better be nice to me.
Of course, as usual, I'm going to be nice. You're coming in a little bit hard.
Would you like me to tie myself down a bit? How's that? Check 1, 2.
Just be gentle.
Okay, I'll be gentle.
Yeah. So, yeah, I look forward to that. That's going to be fun. You looking forward to it?
We'll see what happens. I don't know.
You're still very loud, but you know what? Fuck it. Everybody has been waiting way too long, so
I can turn myself down a bit, and I can.
Okay.
How's that? Check 1, 2.
That's good.
Check
That's
1,
good.
2.
That's
Okay.
perfect. That's perfect. All right. So what's going on in this world? What's this thing you sent? Is this EEI today? Christian's last day?
It's Lou Merloni's last day.
Lou's last day. That's right. Christian stays there. All right.
I didn't listen to it though, so I don't know. But I just saw that it was posted. I sent it to you in case you are interested.
Let me see. I am interested.
Okay.
I'm sorry about that. Sorry it took so long, everybody. All right. Here we go. This is Lou and Christian in Mega Waffles. Hold on. It's thinking now. It's loading. This is a dial-up modem here.
MFM or whatever the show's called, right?
So this is interesting. This is not firing out of the right place. This is coming out of somewhere else now. All right. Okay, everybody do what you're told. Here we go. Now I've changed that. Here we go.
Did things the right way, our way, which I think was that I think the listeners appreciate.
He's honest to God. That producer who cried last week is actually playing My Way. Did we ever play that kid? We did, right?
I don't know.
The producer from last week who was like, anyway, it's been a long journey, and I just don't know. Oh, he quit. Remember the kid quit?
I don't know if we played that on our show. I don't remember it. Maybe we did, and I just don't remember.
So we're gonna play. Let's go back to. But the producers are playing My Way.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing with producers. It's like they're so eager to go to the first thing that comes into their mind. It's like have a little bit of nuance and just assume that everybody else has done that. Everybody else has done that. I used to have this producer who was when I was a producer used to call me up all the time and run upstairs when I was at 96.9 saying, "Oh, hit the Oprah Barack Obama cut right here. Hit that drop right here. Hit this drop right here." Jesus, dude, F off. Like, I'm not hitting the thing that everybody else hits all the time, you know? Hit the fart noise right here. It's like, yeah, no, thank you very much. Please. God, it's like this. It's this trek to make sure to see who can be the most mediocre in like average. Okay, back to Lou and Christian and Mega Waffles.
Appreciate it. Like, honest to God, I feel like they appreciated it. And that's not by accident. You know, it's not by accident. So, I don't know, Mega, how do we end it?
I feel like we're like one of those cult movies or TV shows.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh damn,
Cult?
it didn't get the recognition it should have at the moment, or like it got cut too soon. They only had one season.
Oh, cult.
That's
cult.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, agreed. I like that. I like that because
Do you?
A critical
do.
darling.
I like that.
I
That's
like
what we
that.
are.
I like
We're
that.
critical
I like
darling.
Yeah.
Yeah. The world's gonna look back and miss them one day.
Yeah.
I love that.
So you have
woman.
the floor, Lou.
No,
Yeah,
listen,
you have the
I,
floor.
I,
It's your
I'll
time.
be listening to both of you guys. I've appreciated so much. 15 years, all the fans, the listeners, sticking with us. I've appreciated being in your car while you're driving around. I know a lot of people. It's great hearing the stories of people calling in and saying, listening with their kids, or I started listening with you guys back in the day, the Mutt Merlone. I wish Mutt all the best. I know he's going to be standing in whatever he does. There's so many people, like I'd like to thank in the business. Obviously, Ordway giving my first shot, and Jason Wolf kind of hiring me as well. Producers like Joe Zarbo, who was our boss. He's fantastic. Still
Joe
good friends with him.
Zarbano,
So, see, I don't
Alice,
work with
that
him
is.
anymore.
See?
We're still good friends for you.
But hold on, Mayor, just for the record. So we
Joey
tried to
Zarbano, who was when I was there at RKO, was just the intern, and then he got a gig with Mike Adams as the intern, and Mike called him Joey the Fish back then. He was just a young raw kid, and it was interesting. Mike liked him. I remember hearing Mike go into. I might even been sitting in the office with Jason Wolf when Mike Adams went in and trashed his current producer and said, "Give me Joey the Fish. Just give me Joey the Fish." So there you go. It's just some inside baseball.
Nice.
we all tried to go out to dinner like the old show, the beginning,
Oh.
the seeds, right? Guess who didn't show up?
I had a lot going on.
Mr. Big Time.
This
I
is the
had a
big
lot
time.
going on, but I'll make time for
Yeah.
you.
All right.
And all you guys here. Obviously, Tyler Devitt, too, who was with
Yeah.
us for a while. Paul Chartier. I mean,
Yeah.
Paul's fantastic. Tyler, I wish him all the best in whatever he does in the future. Ryan, you are outstanding. I'll continue listening to you guys. Fourier and Mego. I'm going to miss you guys. Obviously, Mego, you're a talent. I'm looking forward to what you'll be able to accomplish. Fourier, I already told you I'm not going to tell you how I feel about you because I'm not going to end the show that way, but you know how I feel about you.
Yeah. Same.
And I'm looking forward to the next adventure for me, doing Red Sox radio and other things that I'm really, really excited about that you guys probably hear about hopefully here in a few weeks. I want to thank you all. That's going to do it for us today. Well, I guess I'll see you on the other side in the radio booth. You hear me talking Red Sox next? Love you guys.
Oh God, I'm not saying oh God because I think that was a nice speech by Lou. I have no problem with how they're acting in the studio, but like to end it on Sinatra doing My Way, I would hate to be a host with a producer who's undermining you with his idiocy. But it happens all the time. I understand. Believe me, and I've done it myself a couple of times. Never really on purpose, but oh man, just don't play My Way. Just this is the thing that adults play when they've done it their way. My way. I'm sorry, I don't like cliche stuff. I don't like it. I never liked doing it.
I know, but I mean, like, also, is it even true?
What?
Were they like forging some original path
No,
and doing it their way?
No, they're just not filling enough, and they're not in their the ratings are just down across the station. I mean, it's not the place to be anymore. The other stations just giving them a drubbing. There's no spectacle happening on EEI anymore.
Well, and radio is not the place to be either, necessarily.
Well, sure, but
no offense.
But are people who listen to sports radio, and it skews younger than talk radio, and they go somewhere still, and that's the
right.
station. But there's no spectacle happening. There's no Minahan raising hell, but there's no Jerry raising hell or Jerry and John Dennis raising hell. There's not even the electricity of the Big Show, where with the sharp humor and bits of Pete Gustin and customize intros every day and the Weiner line and all that stuff. It has become someplace that is you're not missing out. There was a time when you had to be kind of listening, and also all the Boston teams were great too. That helped, but I don't know. I don't know those guys. I hope they do well. I mean, I think that it would probably be smart. I don't know Fourier what he wants, but I doubt Mego, who used to be Megan. I think probably she's being very vanilla, and that if she's very vanilla and Fourier is very vanilla, then they'll probably get very vanilla ratings. That said, I never got any ratings in anything when I was in radio, so maybe vanilla works. I mean, we got ratings one time with Michael Graham. Then they went to the people meter, and then that was it. It was curtains for us. But but yeah, no, I think it's yeah, I have nothing. You know, if I don't have something, I have nothing to say. I have no problem. I hope all those people do very well. Let's get to this teachers union thing because you know we talked about it in Connecticut today. We talked about it's happening everywhere. It's also happening, I think, in Indianapolis, where the school committee and the superintendents aren't talking about all the trans stuff they're treating. They're teaching. We talked to Steve Robinson up in Maine. He's dealing with this huge story up there with these people who gave the kid the girl
Chest binder.
the chest binder. And I have a caller who pointed out something incredible. You know, we played this, and this it's funny because this audio is like standing up still. Remember a couple days ago we played the teacher, the fourth grade teacher, Chris Coleman, who after the woman, Amber Levine spoke and cried.
That might have been yesterday.
Yeah, okay. It might have been yesterday. After she spoke and cried about somebody giving her daughter a chest binder, something meant to flatten her chest, you know, on the journey to you know changing her physiology. Well, after she spoke, this guy Chris Coleman, this really bleep eating Weasley little worm, spoke. He trashed her and said all sorts of stuff. He stepped right across. I mean, he stepped away from what she said. He never addressed the
Of course not.
crime, of course.
Of course not, because the stuff that actually happens is indefensible. So they have to stick to some other like imaginary world where like the mean abusive parent is like they call it like conversion therapy if you for some reason don't want your kid to have a chest binder.
Right. And like it's kind of such a shocking tabloid thing that at the time I never thought about it, but what is that kind of apparatus doing in a school, and how many of them are there, and is it are they in a closet somewhere? It's remarkable.
Well, right. I mean, but once they started giving out condoms, I don't know why they wouldn't have chest binders.
I mean, that's one thing. That's, you know, I mean, people are going to fornicate. Not that you should facilitate it. I understand that, but still, a chest binder. And also, what 26-year-old guy has his business being the breasts of a 13-year-old girl?
Of course.
How aren't the police involved here?
Of course. You can't get your students underwear normally, and that's what a chest binder is. It's a form of underwear. So, like, if you wouldn't buy your not trans student underwear, then don't buy it for your trans student. Like, I don't get it. It's the same line. There's no, like, it's not like a denial of rights to trans kids. Teachers also shouldn't be buying the other kids' underwear either. This is the same rule for everybody. It should be equally applied. I don't understand what the mental block is with some of these teachers.
Well, okay, and another thing the caller of mine picked up, I want to play this for you. It's him once again. Listen to what he says. Now, I remember this got your attention. You kind of looked at me askance when you heard this, but there's something else to pick up on.
Chris Coleman, please identify your county residence as well. My name is Chris Coleman, I'm a teacher here at GSB, and I live in Newark. So I bet if you went around our school and asked every single employee, not just teachers, what their most important priority for all the students is, after some thought, they would say the same thing. It's not math, it's not science, or spelling, or reading, writing, social studies, or any of that stuff. Our number one priority when we walk into this building every morning is the safety of our students. Why? Well, if you're a teacher, you already know, but quite simply, children can't.
It's not social studies. It's not science. It's not math. It's not whatever. It's the safety of our students, and that caught you obviously, and that caught me. And we looked at each other yesterday. But if it's not teaching math, science, social studies, or history, then why do they call them teachers?
Right.
These are safety wards, resident assistants. I mean, these are they're by definition they are teachers, right?
In theory, that's what it used to be.
Well, yeah, but we want to teach the entire child, and when we say that, mostly her 13-year-old breasts. Okay. There's no, where's the line of demarcation that where you're allowed? No wonder this mother was so upset. I can't imagine that there's a father involved. I assume there's not, because in our family it's different. But if some 26-year-old was talking to our daughter and fitting her for a chest binder, obviously I would consider violence against that thing doing that to her. I would consider that on the table, absolutely. It's certainly threats, certainly up in his face, certainly follow him somewhere, get out of the car and say, listen, mother bleeper, this is it. The last time you and I have a discussion where it's peaceful, the next time I see you, I would absolutely threaten him.
Yeah, but they've decided to put the full force of the state behind this ideology, this gender ideology. So not only can you then get in trouble for like threatening a school official and all that stuff, but they'll probably put social services on you and investigate your kid for you not affirming your trans child and all that stuff, and probably take your kid. I mean, like in a state like Massachusetts, absolutely.
So, they've already done it. They've already sent the talking to Steve today, they've already sent the social services to
the family's house.
Exactly.
Because they dared to complain that an adult teacher was buying their child undergarments.
Right.
I mean, that's some sick stuff. And honestly, that family should probably skip the state. Like, I'm not exaggerating. I know that sounds nuts, but like, you need it. Once they send social services after you with this trans stuff, if you don't want it happening to your kid, you have to get out of Dodge. Like, I'm sorry, you just do, to a state with laws that are more favorable to parents. And not that it can't happen anywhere, but some states with the trans stuff are way, way, way more dangerous than others. We read a piece on this podcast a few years ago. I want to say, was it Barry Weiss's blog? I don't think it was somehow. I don't remember whose it was, but it was somebody's piece about the laws and like them literally taking kids from parents over this stuff and like putting them in homeless shelters, like not better places, but like, where they could get hormones and chest binders and all this stuff, and they would be affirmed, quote unquote, because their families are so abusive, and these are like middle class affluent homes where the kids have whatever they want and the parent just doesn't want them deciding to change their gender medically, and that's like what's considered abuse and neglect and all this stuff, and they're taking the kid and putting them in a homeless shelter with a bunch of like drug addicts and crazy people and who knows what else, right? Like it's absolutely out of control. And like, honestly, I mean, if it ever came to a point in my life where the state sent child protective services after me over a trans thing, I would move out of the state. Like, I don't even.
Yeah, I mean, haven't we heard people who got that counsel who said it's time?
Yeah, that's what the smart people do, is because the child protective services is a state level thing, so they can't come for you if you're not a resident of the state anymore, and that's the end of it, and that's like the only way. Yeah, Morgan says the guy was in Washington or Oregon. That's what I remember too. And he sat right there in the doctor's office and was like, yeah, totally, we're definitely going to affirm our kid's gender. And then they packed up their stuff and moved out of the state. That's it. Right. That's it. And I mean, like, that's the smart thing to do, that honestly, in that situation, because the state is going to either transition your child or take them from you. Those are the other three options. Those are the total three options, right? Like, you leave the state, they trans your kid, or they take your kid and put them in a homeless shelter or a foster home. Like, that's it. Those are your only choices. So like, choose your fighter, I guess. Like, that's it.
So when I was when I went and got a job as a concierge at a hotel, I was it was me and one other guy to start, and then he hired some more people. And some of the first two people we hired were men in their 50s who had come from teaching.
Yeah.
Teaching jobs. And one of the main reason that they got out of teaching, and I'm without naming names, I'm going to say that I think it's fair to say that both of these men were in the LGBT community. They were in the G community. Back then you didn't have other stuff. And they were from the generation that saw a lot of their friends killed from AIDS, and when this was illegal, etc. And so, they had a different real experience then. And I don't even know, that might not even be relevant to the story whatsoever. But they got out of teaching and wanted to become concierges because at that time the parents were a pain. The moms would call up and go to the meetings and say, we want this, we want that, we want to make sure my daughter deserves a better grade. And they had seen kids through the decades become less disciplined, less focused, and bigger a-holes than ever. The schools lost the ability to punish the kids. The parents would always appeal, and the administration would side with the parents, and they felt disrespected. So I wonder if part of this is that class of people has now and they're in leadership, maybe on a board of education, maybe in principals, superintendents. Could it be that class of people is now in higher leadership, and they're still just burnt out by dealing with parents and dealing with stuff in the sense that they've got almost like parent PTSD. I wonder if that plays into this at all.
I think the parents are part of it. I think the administration is part of it too.
But I'm not saying. But I'm talking about the parents from way back then. I mean, maybe now too, but way back then. Now, what I hear from teachers is parents not caring. but maybe that's what. Maybe they were so burnt by overzealous parents, who maybe in the 80s felt guilty about being divorced, who just were unbearable. And not believing them that their kids were jerks, and because maybe the parents felt guilty about being divorced. Who knows what it was? But I wonder if some of these feelings are holdovers from that. Some of it we know is all in fanaticism. We know the ones with nose rings and purple hair. They are true believers. That's not what that is. But I wonder if one of the reasons that you don't get some flexibility with some of the principals is that they're still just lifelong jaded and miserable. And if you've ever been arraigned in court, Alice, and I know that you probably haven't. Can you tell Sally to let the dog out?
I can't. Sally's not here.
Oh.
The boys are in the kitchen, so I can't really. They won't hear me.
They have screens?
If they can't. No, they just have the TV.
No.
So if they don't hear her,
dog bark, even though the dog's right next to them, of course.
Yeah, I can't. And if they don't hear the dog and figure out what the next steps are, I don't really know what else I can do.
They don't hear the dog. All they hear is the sound.
Okay. Well, would you like me to get up and go let the dog out?
Simulated in Roblox, they would hear the dog. They don't hear the real dog.
Would you like me to go let the dog out?
Well, I don't know. You can make the judgment call about the dog who needs to go to the bathroom, Alice.
Okay. Well, I was kind of hoping the kids would figure it out, but I guess they're not going to. But
okay. I'll fill. Yes, the dog is whining right now. This is the thing about having kids. You guys know. Like the dog could freak. It doesn't matter. Could all day long be. The dog could write on a little tiny chalk tablet, I have to go to the bathroom. Please let me out. And the kids are just. They don't care. They're simply just watching whatever they're watching. They're only. That's our failure of parenthood, and also we neglect them because we're doing a podcast right now. But yeah, they're all about screens, and if not screens, well, actually, they're on another screen. They're watching the TV now. So exactly, things are so bad with the screen time recently that, like, having them just watch TV to us isn't screen time. That's like getting out in nature. It's not. This is not a great patch for us. But I mean, it's not terrible. We don't beat them, and they're all fed, and they've got access to water and all the things that most the dog has. but yeah, that is our problem. It's not your problem. It's our problem. That's just it. Pepper the doggy. Let me see. I think I've got this up here somewhere. So if there are any messages, I can get them. Adam and Drew were reminiscing about when the name Bruce was a round way of calling somebody. Who's Adam and Drew? Do I know them? Who let the dog out? Sorry, Tommy. Yeah, that is terrible. Pathetic. Adam and Drew were reminiscing. Who's Adam and Drew? About when the name Bruce was a round way of calling somebody a gay person. There used to be like this thing that yes, there'd be a hairdresser named Bruce, and it was said with a lisp or something. I don't know. There's an old 80s meme. Morgan says once they get older, you just keep them busy with sports. We have they're busy with some other stuff on the weekends and nights sometimes, but not all of them. Adam and Dr. Drew. Oh, Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew. Oh, oh, that's great. I gotta listen to those guys. I haven't. I love Carolla. I used to listen to his show, his radio show. But it's been a while. There's no doubt.
So the other thing I wanted to talk about, I don't know if
please.
if you have time. But the other thing I wanted to mention is that the Barstool / Penn Gaming like hearing in front of the Massachusetts Gaming Commission
Oh,
was
and remember
today.
we promised 2 things yesterday.
Okay. So this was one of them. And
Okay,
then,
it is. Okay. Are you snapping at me?
No, but I wanted to get to the things promised. But I don't remember what the other one was. Do you?
No. Do you guys remember what there were 2 things?
I
The
asked
other one
you.
was it Portnoy?
That was this.
Okay, then it was something else. What was the other thing? You guys remember? Dang it.
I don't know. I thought maybe it was the Maine teacher thing, but I think we did part of that yesterday, so I don't remember what you said the other thing was going to be. Anyway, so there was this like article about Portnoy in the Boston Globe 3 days ago, which of course was because not an article, an editorial, which is of course because the Mass Gaming Commission was deciding whether or not to approve their gaming licenses today. And they decided, and of course, the Boston Globe editorial was not flattering to Portnoy, right? And without any substance there, right? Barstool fails sports betting suitability test, says editorial. The founder of Barstool, Dave Portnoy, built the brand on the raunch juvenile behavior and misogynist and racist rhetoric.
Yeah, it sounds like somebody who really spent a lot of time listening and watching Barstool, right?
Yeah.
This is like who's the editorial page director who went to war against Minahan.
Right. So this editorial isn't, about any particular news. It's just saying, hey, Mass Gaming Commission, you shouldn't approve Penn's license for gambling because we don't like Dave Portnoy. Right? That's the whole point of it. That's the only thing it's here for, is it's going after the elected officials to not approve a gambling license for this group of people that they don't like. Before issuing any sports betting license, state law requires the Massachusetts Gaming Commission to scrutinize each applicant for suitability. That's a test, among other things, of character, integrity, and reputation. It's hard to see how Barstool Sports founder Dave Portnoy, who is partnered up with Penn Entertainment, the parent company of Plainridge Park Casino, passes such a test. And Portnoy's suitability problem spills over into Penn Entertainment, which currently owns a 36% share of Barstool Sports and plans to take 100% ownership in 2023. The Barstool brand that Portnoy built and personifies is raunchy, juvenile, and aimed at young men who also happen to be attracted to sports betting. But Portnoy's highly lucrative high school locker room business model is just a piece of his brand. He's also been called out repeatedly for racist and misogynistic rhetoric, most recently by the New York Times. So see how they do this? They just launder their same stuff. They link back. Everyone's like, the New York Times article doesn't matter, but then the Boston Globe editorial links back to the New York Times article like it matters, and they all just rehash the same 6-0 things. But they do it in a way because they each have respectability, and there's this like garbage thing that happens where they like repeat the garbage enough times and they launder it through enough like high reputation like news outlets.
Yes.
and then they like make it real just by wish casting, and that's what they do. And then they can write an editorial like this that's aimed directly at the government officials that are going to make or break this company.
Exactly. And it could be something that Dave Portnoy years ago.
Out of many examples, consider these two. Portnoy is known to unapologetically drop the N-word, present tense, as a joke.
He read a rap.
He's known to unapologetically drop the N-word as a joke. He does that all the time, according to the Boston Globe editorial board.
That's what he's known
unapologetically. And his idea of humor once involved the thought that while he does not condone rape, if you're a size 6 and wearing skinny jeans, you kind of deserve to be raped, right?
Read that sentence again.
While he does not condone rape, and then a quote, his idea of humor once involved the thought that while he does not condone rape,
it once involved the thought
that
so that's
while
a wiggle room there. You're doing a lot of connection there. It once involved the thought.
Right. His idea of humor once involved the thought that while he does not condone rape, if you're a size 6 and you're wearing skinny jeans, you kind of deserve to be raped, right? Portnoy called the Times story a hit piece designed to present him as a scumbag. He's also known to attack critics by revealing personal information, doxing them, and he's threatened to fire workers who wanted to unionize. Do you remember that incident?
Yeah.
Also a joke that he also paid for. As the Times reported, Portnoy filed for bankruptcy due to gambling debt at age 26, yet he enjoys goading young people into betting. Etc. They had a whole, they had a fine in Ohio because an event didn't prevent underage bettors from being there when they were talking about betting or something. Penn Entertainment deserves to make its case, but it's a tough sell. Since by choice and investment, it is inextricably bound up with the Portnoy brand. The first chairman of the Mass Gaming Commission said he personally finds it very hard to imagine Barstool and Portnoy would be suitable in Massachusetts. He said at a minimum there should be a detailed investigation of his financial dealings, professional behavior toward women, and any misogynist or racist language, behavior, or intimations. And he should be heard of in person to account for all that he has said and done.
This is going to be trouble.
Who else has this standard?
Well, I don't know. If we just go by the standard, the owners of the Boston Globe have a problematic history with racism being at the stadium. A couple of times at Fenway Park, there were racist things hurled at players, black players. We've heard that that there were witnesses. The Globe themselves told us that it definitely happened. So racism is hot and heavy at Fenway Park. There's also FanDuel promos all over Fenway Park, and DraftKings, whatever it is. And Fenway Park has had a trouble with some clubhouse staff having some sexual misconduct as well. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know where the
Boston Globe says with their very heavily linked article that links to all the other articles that also don't say anything of import, but they all, pile onto each other. And now all of a sudden you have tons of articles explaining why Portnoy is such a bad guy. Right. And then you get to them and they say that it's a slippery slope and it's up to the Gaming Commission to stop that slide. See? So then the hearing thing was today. And they did approve. So there's like 2 separate licenses that they have to do. One is the retail sports betting, which is like for at the casino, is my understanding. And that I'm not a gambling person, so I could be getting stuff wrong. But my understanding is there's a retail sports betting license, which is for at the casino. And then there's also a category 3 online sports betting license that's for the sports betting online with the Barstool Sportsbook app. So basically at this meeting, Penn Entertainment argued Barstool is a marketing partner. They're not running the casino. Portnoy is not in charge of like the gambling operations. This is a marketing thing only. And it seems weird that like a marketing partner would be subjected to this level of scrutiny. Nobody else does it. But the Mass Gaming Commission had a lot of concerns. So they approved the retail sports betting license for the Plainridge Park Casino, but only temporarily and dependent on several conditions. The commissioners agreed that Barstool Sports, so this is the marketing partner of Penn Entertainment, will have to fully cooperate with a thorough background and suitability investigation from the Massachusetts Investigation and Enforcement Bureau when it is acquired by Penn Entertainment in February. Additionally, the media company will have to limit audience members for all future Barstool Sports college football shows to those who are 21 years of age or older as part of the approval. So basically they're saying that they're going to have to like watch what they say from now on. Due to the partnership between Penn and Barstool, O'Brien, that's the commissioner, Commissioner Eileen O'Brien, called for the IEB to consider Barstool Sports as a qualifying entity. So they're saying Barstool Sports has to be considered the same as Penn Entertainment. They have to pass all the same checks and everything. Other members were wary of declaring Barstool Sports a qualifying entity, and the commissioner Jordan Maynard did not support the decision to view Barstool Sports as a qualifying entity, expressing his discomfort that no other operating partner for any other applicant had been qualified as such. But as a part of the compromise, O'Brien said she was comfortable with Barstool Sports undergoing a suitability investigation by the IEB in February after Penn acquires the company. Snowden agreed to the condition with assurances that the Penn guy, Jay Snowden, agreed to the condition with assurances that the temporary license approval will not stop Penn Entertainment's from launching sports retail betting in February or online sports betting in March if the conditions are met. They were also supposed to consider the online sports betting license, but that's put on hold until January 3 because they took so long going through everything Dave Portnoy's ever said and done. So that's good. So they didn't have time to get to that one. But then you look at like the CBS News story about the thing. This is how it starts. This is about approving the Penn license. Boston is the byline. A degenerate gambler. That's how Barstool Sports creator Dave Portnoy describes himself. Barstool has become a popular and controversial player in the world of sports gambling. Yeah, I mean, if you say it enough times, it becomes controversial, I guess. And its founder's rhetoric on betting took center stage at a mass gaming commission hearing on whether or not to allow a Barstool-themed sportsbook to open at the Plain Ridge Park Casino. According to a recent New York Times article, etc., etc. This report and other negative publicity about Portnoy has left some members of the commission wondering if it renders Penn National unsuitable to hold a sports betting license.
Some wacko from Business Insider or whatever writes this lazy piece, half of which gets blown out of the water. Some other members of media have known. God, please. That said, all that matters is how much will Maura Healey want to make this a project?
Yeah. Commissioner Jordan Maynard seemed to sum up the skepticism. I do feel that you are the company you keep. In the end, the commission voted unanimously to approve a temporary license, but insisted on a deeper investigation of Barstool's practices before making it permanent, putting the onus on Portnoy to watch his step going forward.
We'd like to call to the stand a Rico Bosco.
Imagine, but then but how can Barstool at that point remain a content creation company?
They would like to call Frank the Tank to the stand. Mr. Tank, do you solemnly swear?
I mean, Portnoy, you're going to have to watch your step. Try not to get any other articles written about you by people with an axe to grind, I guess.
I mean, it's, there's part of this culturally, especially with the people from the Globe and some people who used to work at the Herald. Part of this culturally is, and for for millennials, maybe it's Girls Gone Wild. It's this total jealousy, envy, hatred of the lifestyle and the kind of girls who hang around or who hung around in the Barstool kind of umbrella.
Right.
Not
so
co-eds, not real smart, but didn't have to be. And, you had women's gender studies majors who were miserable with nose rings and in short wiffles, who hated them and all that fun happening in that place. How dare they? The fun party place where everybody looks good and is having a ball and there's no fallout.
Well, they've found a way to put a damper on it. That's for sure.
Yeah. And the only possibility is, and you'd think Maura Healey does have a tiny dude DNA. She is a jock. She does technically like women. Does have kind of sharp elbow. I just say this from my own interactions at the Herald with her. She's not afraid to F around with guys, like with me. She was never afraid to F around and come up to me and just be jockey.
Yeah, but none of this.
But it matters.
None of this stuff is really about Barstool Sports being funny. It's about Barstool Sports being a wild card and not towing the line and being a place where people can say other stuff. Like, there's a reason why that's the place that Kirk Minahan ended up, right?
Well, yeah.
When other people went after him and all this stuff. And that's it's been a while since he went there, obviously. But you don't think if this gambling license thing were happening closer on the heels of Kirk Minahan joining Barstool Sports, that would be a talking point too? Kirk Minahan, who had to leave Boston radio due to his dangerous rhetoric on XYZ, right?
Oh, totally. But the problem is if they decide to, does they have muscle? No.
Yeah, you do. You look very muscular. You can keep going.
No, seriously.
I don't know, honey.
Okay. But Penn National can run casinos all it wants. The people who go to Barstool predominantly go there for the content. That's Portnoy. It's not all just pizzas, but it's a bleep load of content. Everything they do is content and drama in that building.
Well, yeah, and I mean they're a huge brand. That's what people go there for, is like the podcasts and like the YouTube shows and all that stuff. And I mean, like it's a huge brand with a huge age range from like Gen Xers like you, like more like Portnoy's age, right down all the way to like, I mean, people who are in their early 20s listen to some of the Barstool stuff. Not the same shows, I don't think, but I mean, like, there's a huge cross section of male audience there and female audience, but predominantly male. But it's an enormously powerful marketing thing, and that's why, I mean, like, that's why High Noons are like such a popular brand. And like when I look at liquor industry chatter, I see people talking about how High Noons are like outpacing all these other like seltzer light things. And I do think that's a huge part of it. I think that they're like a marketing powerhouse. But I think that, you know, I think that they got a reputation of being edgy, and I think that they have traded that for sort of this like mainstream cred that you can't really get back from. And I think they'll continue to be hugely popular and a huge marketing powerhouse and all this stuff, but they'll never again quite be what they were, which is the point, right? And I mean, like, that's it. They're making it clear that all these articles from CBS and the Boston Globe and the New York Times and Business Insider, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, they're all making it totally clear, like, what do you need to do to be able to make your money in as like a serious contender in a serious field that we're going to regulate? You need to, I mean, like, do you think Portnoy is going to be on Tucker Carlson while they're waiting for this temporary license thing to happen?
Yes, I do. I don't know, and I don't know the guy Jay, whatever his name is. I don't know him or anything about him, but I don't think they want them to stop being Barstool. I think that they're hoping that their lawyers can meet with regulators, etc., and charm them. I mean, I think that they're not going to just squander the Barstool brand. Barstool is corporate feral, you know, so they're still feral cats, but they've got a glossy corporate sheen to them now. But you got to know, and as a matter of fact, for that reason, I think that like all these stories about Portnoy with these groupies kind of helps, because they're not doing that. There's no like, what's the finest ass of the week from Boston University? That doesn't happen. I don't think that happens anymore in Barstool. Maybe it does. I just remember when it was the magazine, you know, and they
well, right, but you remember there was that whole thing about like Portnoy not wanting strippers in the office.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. But so that maybe it's good that these other like whispers of the bad boy are still out there. Maybe they need, although I don't know if 22-year-olds still like to get laid. So I don't know if that's a thing anymore. So, but
no, they like to complain that it's problematic.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think it's kind of up to Maura Healey, right?
Well, it's up to the Mass Gaming Commission, but
isn't it interesting that they're not sure that Penn should be part of this thing, because Dave likes to gamble and has been a boorish kind of a philandering dude. At the same time, through a spirit of equity, they're looking for ex-cons to give pot shops to.
Right, of course.
Right, to sell their state-sponsored drugs.
Yeah, obviously.
Dave doesn't sell drugs, as far as I know. The state does.
Yeah, I don't think so.
And their ex-cons do.
Yeah. So, should we do the chat?
Sure, I haven't had a chance to even fire this baby up, Alice.
Should we do the chat? I want to check and make sure your kids actually let the dog in.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm going to have to do all my sign-ins for this. Sign in, okay.
It seems odd. I still think there has to be a setting.
Anybody knows why I have to sign into everything every time I start my MacBook Air from 2013? Please let me know. Hold on. I got to do the password.
It must be some kind of setting. I'm just saying. Mac people, everyone's all big on defending the Macs when I said Macs suck, and you guys, nobody has any answers for why Tom can't even get his Mac to stay signed into things. Let him know, because I'm not a Mac person, so I don't know stuff like that. But my computer stays signed in, if you believe it.
Okay. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Here we go.
So I had more Rushmore talk with my buddy.
Mm-hmm.
And then I jokingly said, what is your Mount Rushmore of ethnicities? And he thought I was serious for about a minute. Oh, you can't win.
Yeah, that feels
There's no
problematic.
winning. No winning on that.
Well, I mean, so...
Yeah, I'm with you, Justin. Let's not do a Mount Rushmore of ethnicities.
But like, as in which one's superior or which one's the most beautiful?
Let's just stay away from ranking ethnicities. How about that?
Okay, but there are some different people look beautiful. Ethiopians are really beautiful. Have you seen Ethiopians? They're beautiful. True. Some Dominicans are beautiful. Some Italians are beautiful. I've stayed south of Europe so far, Alice. I think I'm, or at least
Wait, Italians are south of Europe, honey?
The UK. Okay, but
Nothing.
There's. I mean,
Nothing that touches the Mediterranean is Europe, as far as you're concerned.
Ethiopia touch the Mediterranean?
No, I'm saying, but you don't count things as Europe that touch the Mediterranean.
Right. I mean, I think.
See, Tom's already got himself in trouble.
No,
He's kicked the Italians out of Europe.
Sorry about that. There are ethnicities that I've seen that are just beautiful, and it just so happens that in my late teens and early 20s, when I had a job at a hotel, the women at this parking garage were Ethiopians, and they were just gorgeous. They were perfect. They were perfect. They were what Northern Europeans want to look like. They were perfect, and I think every ethnicity has beautiful people, regardless. But I don't think it's a freaking hate crime to talk about it. You know? Let me tell you what it ain't. It's not the English. Okay.
Okay.
You puss, Alice. You wimp.
I don't see ethnicities.
So
hold on, Justin. Let me get to this one first.
The patent has finally been established.
Oh.
Tom doesn't want to wait to pay a bar tab, so he ditches on it. He feels he's waiting too long to be shown some equipment, so he's thinking of stealing it from Gatassi.
Accurate.
Biggest theft. He steals Alice away from her parents.
Ooh, vicious. Although, Alice, is there something you want to say about your status when we got together?
No.
Alice?
No.
Mm-hmm. I'll get it out of her, guys. No. Don't worry about it. Let's just say she was married.
It's not true.
Okay, maybe that's not true.
Okay, thank you.
So I have a title for a wrap-up show to the Burn Barrel. It's called Bottom of the Barrel.
Ooh.
And Chelsea Fire Hot Sauce, obviously. Wonderful product. That it would delve into, what happened on the show. Also maybe delve into my own certain kind of madness.
Very interesting, Alice. Can we make channels? Can we do wrap-up shows?
Like on our YouTube channel? I don't know. I'll think about it. Where'd you go? Thomas? Oh, are you getting your Chelsea Fire Wicked hot sauce? I bet that's where he went. But yeah, I don't know. I guess we could do wrap-up shows. I mean, you definitely can. I don't know how that works with like having creators on the YouTube channel and stuff like that. Were you getting your hot sauce? I was trying to figure out where you went.
Yes, I am. Not just any hot sauce, Alice. It's my Chelsea Fire Wicked hotline.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Matter of fact, it's made of all natural stuff. It's wonderful. Shake it up. Shake it up. There's no xanthan gum in this or plutonium. It's the best thing in the world. Tomorrow morning, this is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to break the rules for Awaken 180 Weight Loss. I'm going to go, Alice.
Don't break the rules.
This room is right down. It's like 20 feet away from the buffet. I'm going to go over.
How come you always have to lean different directions out of the
That's right.
screen? So
I'm
I
gonna
keep
go to
have
the
to.
buffet.
No, stay where you are. I just moved it back to where I.
Doesn't matter. I'm going to go.
Well, you weren't on screen.
I'm going to go to the buffet.
Okay.
I'm going to grab scrambled eggs. I'm going to put them in a bowl. I'm going to
Okay.
grab 4 sausages. I'll put those in a bowl. These are sausages I'm not supposed to be eating. I will then empty half of this into that bowl, and I will rock and roll like nobody's business. And I'll be such in ecstasy. It's going to be wonderful. Cannot wait. Then I'll go to Waking Monday next week, and they'll be up. Okay. One more. By the way, Alice, you should know. You probably don't know this. That some of the proceeds go to
5%.
Yes, National Fallen Firefighters Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
That's firehero.org.
Yeah, find out Market Basket, Big Y. I think.
Okay, I'm gonna swear. What the fuck was that impression that Tom was trying to do last night on Burr Barrel?
What?
It was definitely not an impression of a New Yorker. It sounded more like somebody was having their head squeezed in a vice, and they thought that would be an impression.
Oh, yeah. No.
Good God, I don't know.
That was, Tim, that's BS. That was indeed. That's every New York dinkhead I had who wanted tickets. Say, yeah, we're from this city. Yeah, we want to see the game. Want to see the game? Yeah, Jeter, Knobloch, all of the whatever. And this was every New York jerk who tipped big, actually, and they were awesome. Thank God for them. Who we, yes, that was, I have, my relatives are from Rockville Center, Nuevo York. And so I resent that. It was a dead on thing. Coffee. All right. I get it. My mother actually still had a kind of a Brooklyn-y accent. She used to say gas, like they say in New York. It never stopped. Never stopped. Not, Alice, feel free to jump in anytime. I'm in a street fight with a guy from Canton.
I'm enjoying it. I don't know.
Man.
I think all your impressions are dead on and very funny,
Correct.
sweetie.
Tim, you want to see my Al Bundy? Noopy. I used to be better. Hold on. Noopy. It used to be better. Believe me. I haven't done it. I had it down in 91, 92, 93. And then I hung around with a bunch of girls, and they said, that's disgusting. Just don't ever do that. And I said, okay. And then I've tabled it for 30 years.
Okay.
So, hold on. I have spoken. No, that was. What's so funny else?
Okay. Okay, it's fine.
You know what? Go somewhere around.
You're super talented, honey. I love you.
I'm gonna walk out here and go to the main strip in Avon, Connecticut, and you know what? Find a hooker. That's what I'm feeling about. You know, she's gonna wear your Santa Claus, Mrs. Claus outfit. Ellen.
Good, good. Enjoy. Thanks so much for listening. You can join the live streams. The live streams work. You can join those by joining the patreon.com/burnbarrel. There's also extra content there each week. You can, of course, also watch
This part of the show
free.
necessary. Should we trim this part? Do we really need your diatribe on what they can and can't do? And why am I red? I'm an Oompa Loompa. Why am I an Oompa Loompa?
I don't know. Bad lighting.